Marvel Rivals is officially an overnight success. It is the most fun I've had in a hero shooter in years. I played Overwatch for around 2 years when it first came onto the scene, and every now and again throughout the years, but I kinda grew out of it. I leaned more into what Hi-Res Studios was doing and fell in love with Paladins, which is pretty close in terms of it being an Overwatch clone with some differences, and it also has the famous HoloLive English Amelia Watson as an announcer, by the way, and their third-person hero shooter, which I adore and I put hundreds of hours in, Rogue Company. Rest in peace, Rogue Company. Your eventual shutdown will probably happen sometime next year and will bring a tear to my eye. Over time, I just eventually became too busy with other things and new single-player games, which is where I gravitate to mostly, and I was just adding more and more games to my backlog, and I had to step away from online games as they dominated my time. Well, I hate to admit it, but with the release of Marvel Rivals, I have been pulled back in.
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
A third-person shooter, a hero shooter with, the Marvel property, it's a match made in heaven. From the ridiculously large starting roster of 33 characters from all over the Marvel license, there's a hero here for everyone. Now, the biggest talking point is obviously going to be balancing, which we'll see how that's handled in the coming weeks and months to start things off, with Jeff the Land Shark and some of the tanks and, some healers. And I've been getting melted by Wanda every now and then. And, Scarlet Witch has been melting me sometimes. Cloak and Dagger, when you get close to Cloak, oh man, there's some things I would change in here, just a little bit. Now, what I really want to talk about is the almost 50-50 split, kind of 50-50 split, on having no role queue in the game. I'm on the side of loving having no role queue. It's one of the reasons I grew to hate Overwatch 2 over time. I'd like to play DPS. That's what I'm playing multiplayer shooters for, really. I know hero shooters, you can change it around a bit, but so do 75% of the other players. Most of them want to play a DPS in the fight kind of person. As the wait time for Overwatch and Overwatch 2, the wait time to get into an actual game when you're trying to roll queue as a DPS can go from 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes or more. And it was just ridiculous, spending most of my time browsing my phone instead of actually playing a game. So I appreciate Rivals for not having it, and players can, on their own, determine in the game if things aren't going as planned or nobody's taking a specific role, they can switch to a tank or a healer to help the team if they feel it's needed in a certain situation. You're not locked into the role you picked at the start of the match. Now, the other side of the argument is that without a role queue, sometimes the team comps of a very good team can get outright ridiculous if you're just casually playing. In Overwatch, they have what is called a GOAT's meta. It's a tactic that involved, playing with 3 tanks and 3 healers to steamroll the opposition. I myself have already experienced this in casual quick play, and let me tell you, it's no fun having immortal tanks just blow right through you. And even if you try to get in their back line and try to take out a healer or two, they are also essentially immortal, so you might as well be attacking air at that point. Now, this happens few and far between, and I would much rather have 1 out of 10 games where this might happen than to have role queue forced into the game. So, what are your guys' thoughts on role queue? Yay or nay? On a side note, is your Marvel character currently part of the roster? Personally, I'm waiting for a Gambit. Throwing kinetic energy cards while you can quickly close the distance with his staff and beat down anyone who dares to get close. His super would obviously be some form of, the 52 card pickup, and I'm just patiently waiting for it. Honestly, with the X-Men alone, there's so many GOATs that still need to be added, but that's a whole nother video I'll probably do. In the meantime, it's all about this meta that's going around. Or do you follow the meta? Do you have your friends and you're doing the 3-3 combo? Do you just play to have fun? What are you going to do? Do you want to not do DPS and be the team player and go for healing and stuff like that? But, that's just how it is. You got to pick and choose your battles, and what you want. I'd rather have player expression where you're not locked into a role. You just pick and there's no wait time. Like most games that I go into, I'm waiting 5 seconds to get into a match now, and that's fantastic. I don't want to wait minutes on minutes on minutes on end just to get into a game, and then all of a sudden it's just, this is not worth it to me. But in the meantime, thanks for making it this far in the video. I appreciate you. Time to roll it back. Talk to you next time.